how to organize a website. In this particular module, we will be just looking at the organization structure, not the actual moving to creating, because most people race in to make their website without any plan for organization. And then what happens is there's pages and pages and pages of things that don't connect in the right way. So we're going to take some time to think about this. So throughout this module, I want you to start and stop, maybe take notes, think about what you would like your website to be. What's its purpose? What are you going to be using it for? We want to connect this back to how you demonstrate knowledge of your students, and you're seeking new knowledge. So this is our place to put that information about the students, if you think of it that way. Now, there's all types of websites out there, and in most cases, you have a district website, then a school website, and then it drills down to the teacher pages. Usually, you can't change the building or the district page, but you have kind of a little environment in which you can build your own website. So don't, you look at this and go, oh, I just don't like those colors. A lot of times you can't control that. So just know what you can control and know what you can't. Basically what they do is they lock those outside parts and only let you in to your classroom. So this is the class page for a science teacher, but everything else pretty much is locked down that they can't do anything. Gets a little frustrating for some teachers, but that's how a lot of websites are set up. So you have this little pocket within your world that you get to work in. There's all different ways to make websites. There's free, there's paid. Your district might provide you with a certain template. Every place is different. And so in other videos, we'll be looking at if you can start from scratch, you can go ahead and create your own. The one thing before you even move forward, write in your notes, check with your administrator. What is the policy? Some districts do not allow teachers to have outside information on websites if they're not linked. Every policy is really quite different. So just make sure you check with your administrator before embarking on spending a lot of time on creating your website if there's some parameters that you need to follow. So this teacher has some great information about her different classes, and it looks like there is, this is the biology honors class. I'm going to guess, but I don't know if that's true, that this teacher might have some other ones also. Now this is a teacher's webpage at a middle school, and you can see on the left she chose to organize hers by her class periods. Not by the content like the last one, but by the class periods. So you can see she teaches the different periods and what are the assignments, as well as linking out to, I know she coaches girls volleyball, so there's the information for that. So what categories do you need on your website? And every single person is going to be different based on what you teach, what you do, extracurricular activities, how much information do you want to put out there. But we want to make sure we're always linking back to our standard that you're always seeking new knowledge. What you don't want is a web page that you make once in a workshop and you never come back to. That's kind of like a bulletin board you made 3 years ago that you keep meaning to fix. You don't want that. And you have to be careful. Now, very often people get overzealous and excited when they go ahead and make their website, and they focus more on backgrounds, fonts, all that stuff instead of the content. That's why I specifically designed this module, that we're not jumping into, oh, I want that background, oh, I want that clip art, because that's exactly what happens. I know it happens all the time. You have to have a plan of where you're going. What's essential to have on a web page? That people need to know about what you do. And so, web pages, a lot of people don't know, web pages can be made public and they can also be made private. So as we're out gaining different information about students, we want to make sure that we don't put anything, obviously, that's confidential out on the internet, but we might want to be thinking about organizing resources for parents. What's appropriate at this grade level for, a student to know. You might be finding resources like that. So the whole idea is the organization. When I look at this, it's a little overwhelming with the background and the fonts and everything else. We don't want to have, just because we can have different fonts, doesn't mean we always should. Be thinking about that. great graphics, make your own, do everything. But what happens with web pages? Everybody gets sucked into, oh, I want that background, I want that border, I want that. Not the content. It's the content, everybody, that people want to come to your website for. They're not going to come and oodle over your graphics, maybe once, but the next time they want the information. So you have to make sure that you have the information in a well-organized way. And the sites that you're looking at, these past few have been made on a free, good theme that runs through many of my videos, free website builder, which is called Google Sites. And Google Sites is free. As long as you have a Gmail account, you can go ahead and build your site. And that's what these are. The one thing is, I know this group because I worked with this group. I know this group worked very hard to make sure they found royalty-free clip art. You want to make sure that the clip art, the images, the things that you have on your website are appropriate and legal. So you want to make sure you've used the things that are appropriate, the clip art that's appropriate. And also, if you're going to use images of students, make sure that you follow the policy for your building in your district. What can you show the student? Can you show their name? All of that stuff needs to be figured out, and that's really important to know before you go through and design your website and you're planning. You're going to say, I'm going to have a picture of this, and then your administrator says absolutely no pictures. So you need to know that. And sometimes it's not your administrator that says that. Sometimes it's just it's too much memory and it makes the pages load too slowly. So sometimes that's the case. You do not want your website to end up on the world's ugliest website. You do not. I just put an ugly website, and this is what I found. So I wanted to see how bad are they. I thought, whoa, that is really, really, really bad. And I love this. So-called web designers. I'm like, wow. Back when web pages were really just starting, everything was blinking and there was graphics and links and everything. Yikes. Less is more these days. Less is more. That's why I wanted to show you an example of less is more. And this one is built in Google Sites. And what's nice about this, it's clean. Might have a little too much text for me, but it's clean. It's not worrying about all of that extra stuff that got these people in trouble. So our mission, let's take a look at this one. Our mission is to think through what groupings, what categories, what's your purpose? Okay, so that's really important in our planning. But the other thing is, how often are you going to update your website? I can't tell you how many websites we went to visit. So this group wanted to see other websites, wanted to see what other people were doing. We went and visited all different websites. There's a lot of people that made a website and it's been up for 3-4 years with their name on it, hasn't been touched. We don't want that to be you. So as you're designing and thinking about what you want to put on this website, you want to make sure that you are going to commit to keeping it fresh and keeping the information out there. You also have to make sure that your system makes it easy for you to update. Unfortunately, we're still at a place in many schools that a teacher that wants to make a change to their web page actually has to go through the tech department after the administrator approves it. And you can't do just-in-time updating. So make sure you know your process before you invest time in the planning. Now, I love this. This is the low-tech way to plan your website. But I was thinking that might be the best way to do it, is go ahead and get some color-coded cards and what categories or what groups do you want to have. Forget all the design and everything else, because it should drill down to the information being the most important part. So your task, your activity now is to, if it's paper and pencil, that's fine. Cards, I don't care, whatever you want to do. But it's a planning, thinking, strategizing about what you want to do, linked back to showing your planning and preparation. We are showing that not only can you find resources, but you know how to organize them and manage them in some type of system. We'll get to making the graphics and making the website and picking out all that stuff. That'll come. But the structure, the thinking, and the planning is where I want you to put your energy right now as you're thinking through that. So you don't have a website yet at this moment, but this time spent up front in planning will save you hours in the long run. Thanks.